All right, here's your first recorded lecture for the year Prehistory and First Humans. You're going to go into Blackboard. You're going to click on Assignments. You're going to go to Prehistory, and you're going to click on the notes, and the notes look like this. And while you're watching this lecture, you're going to take notes and fill in everything and then share it with us when you're done. If you have questions, of course, you can email or ask in class, and you can stop this video and go back at any time. So let's go. First of all, what is prehistory? Prehistory is any history that hasn't been recorded or was made, I should say, before we actually had writing. So roughly 5,000 years ago. So you go in your sheet and you would write history before there was writing. Now, the next part, how do we measure time? We have BCE, which is before zero, i.e. we're in the 2013th year of the Common Era. So if you were, say, born in 2 BCE, how old would you be? If you were born in 2 BCE, how old would you be today? Stop the video and think about that. And the answer should be 2015. That's 2 before 0 plus 2013 equals 2015. And you can see some other examples there. All right, next thing is, what is an archaeologist? An archaeologist, as you can see, is someone who excavates, that means digs, and in the ground and looks for artifacts such as fossils, such as human-made items, such as that coin you can see there. So again, to your notes, you're measuring time, you're writing what BCE and CE are both. Archaeologists, you're writing the definition and what archaeologists do. We now go to primary and secondary documents. Beyond artifacts, we look for primary documents. A primary document is going to be something that originates from the person who is being studied. You guys have primary documents if someone were to study you in the future, such as you could see letters, pictures, text messages, knives, forks, things you keep in the house. And together, someone might use them to try to figure out what is going on in your life. Secondary document would be the item that's written about your life using the primary documents. But over time, secondary documents can become primary documents. For example, if someone was doing a study of textbooks over time to look at the differences with them, they then become a primary document, even though in the time the student is using them, they are a collection of stories and therefore a secondary document. Again, you're taking notes and stopping. Next, what is culture? Culture is all about who you are. You're in a very diverse class. Everybody has different culture. One person might be Muslim, another person might be Christian, another person might have traditions like Halloween, which is a uniquely American tradition. Another one might celebrate Eid. One person might wear short pants mostly when they're a kid, and another person wear heavy clothing depending on their culture. It goes to, as you can see there, music, food, all kinds of things. So again, we're now down here to culture. Next item is technology. Technology is anything that is going to help improve someone's life. So you're looking at artifacts here. These are things from earlier man that at one point were as innovative as the iPhone or the computer you're using to watch this video. Now we get to the Paleo and Neolithic eras of prehistory. Paleo is old. Your teacher is a paleo. Neo is new. That's you guys. You're much younger than your teacher. Lithic means stone. Old stone, new stone. During the Paleolithic era, and now you're looking at your notes, you're down here, they were nomads. They followed animals, but mostly they ate nuts and berries. Not very appetizing. So they're looking for the nuts and berries. They carried everything they owned, so they were nomadic, meaning they moved from place to place. They were also known as hunter-gatherers. Men hunted, women gathered. The oldest people generally are believed to go back about 4.4 million years, found in eastern Africa in a country today called Ethiopia. Slightly more recent one, 3.2 million years ago, we've even given her a name, is Lucy, and that's because it's a very complete skeleton. So you can see the picture here. Literally, Eastern Africa is where everybody, all humans, are known to have originated. And if you would have your genetic code mapped, you could literally see where your family ancestors had migrated, how they had gotten all the way to North America just by your genetic code. Absolutely fascinating. Okay, so obviously we come from apes through evolution. Then when we become man, we take the genus Homo. Homo habilis means the person had the ability to walk upright, but rarely did. Homo erectus was the first early man to walk upright, and then you and I have not been around that long, 100 to 200,000 years, and we are Homo sapiens. Again, notes, you haven't actually done all this, the clothing shelter you're going to get to in a second, but you're writing down what Paleolithic is and early man. Next, whoopsie, we're going to go through, and this is not needed in your notes, ice ages, where the ice at the poles are going to go up and down and change where man lives because of the land mass being covered or not covered or partially covered. We're going to get through, again, the Stone Age we've just mentioned, and which brings me to what is life like in Paleolithic. They live in clans, which means small groups, extended families. They're controlling fire, but they can't build it. So if lightning strikes, they can take the fire and they can use it, maybe to cook, keep warm, but they can't start from scratch. They're starting to speak in some kind of communication orally. They are going to be moving around. And I know you can't see the bottom line, but we already mentioned hunter-gatherers or nomads. They are going to get their nuts and berries. They're going to have they're omnivores, meaning meat eating. And they're going to use basic skins from animals. They can't do much with them, kind of wrap them around, and that's about it. Shelter is going to be temporary because they're moving, and in caves, such as that. Okay, we're almost done. They use very simple tools, rocks, for example. Again, paleo, old, lithic, stone. And they did paintings in caves, which you're going to look at shortly. The Neolithic is huge because they start developing agriculture, meaning they don't have to move around as much, so they can grow, and they are not as dependent on the animals and the nuts and the berries. The only thing you can't see in the screen here is that they are going to start cooking their meats because they learn to control fire. Domesticating animals means they're training animals. Domesticated plants means they're learning how to grow them, how to adapt them. Again, that's the Neo or New Stone Age. Clothing, they're actually going to now know how to sew. They're going to decorate their clothing. They're going to live in permanent villages because they don't need to move, and they're going to even have fireplaces. Tools are going to become much more advanced, sharper. They're going to even have axes and spears to kill the animals. Ultimately, during the Neolithic time period, as I already mentioned, they're going to go from Eastern Africa up into Eurasia, which is Asia and Europe, Australia, and eventually the Americas. So what does this do? Finally, the Neolithic Revolution is going to allow people to stop being nomadic, to stay in one place. Population is going to grow because when you're moving around and you don't have enough food, your population is going to be lower, and you're going to have places where you can get your agricultural products. Finally, on your notes, you're going to get some great structures built, like in England, Stonehenge, which we believe is a religious site. Right here, where my circle is, that's about how tall a human is, so you can see it was in a big circle and how big it is. And we're going to get small villages such as Catal Huyuk, which you're going to do a reading on, which is going to be a really cool place built in a circle where people are going to go from rooftop to rooftop. Okay, you now remember should be finishing this outline. The only thing you can't do are the bold things, and we'll tell you in class how to do that. That's it.